They say memory fades with time, but not this one, not the night our town burned. Not the screams, and not the name that still haunts my every dream, Edith Sinclair. I once believed I knew what evil was, now I know. It wears many faces, and sometimes it's our own. The autumn wind carried the bite of winter that evening, the leaves red gold, and dying world around me as I searched the woods for my son Ezra. He'd run off again, chasing shadows or stories. I thought he was always a sensitive child, one too easily frightened by the whisper of branches or the moan of the wind. But that night, there was real fear in his eyes. He came stumbling out of the forest, trembling, swearing he'd seen a woman in the woods calling to spirits in the fire. I scolded him, of course, even struck him when he wouldn't stop insisting. Enough of your fantasies, I said. Do not speak ill of Miss Edith Sinclair. She was a quiet woman, an apothecary who lived on the outskirts of town, alone but kind. The sort of woman who made poultices for the sick and teas for the weary, surely not a witch. At least, that's what I believed then. The next morning, the hearth had gone cold, and so had my heart. Ezra was gone. I searched the yard, the path, the edge of the woods. Nothing. By noon, every able-bodied man was combing through the forest. Their torches flickered in the mist like fireflies, calling his name over and over again. But when the sun rose the next day, my boy was still gone. For weeks I searched through rain, through frost, through madness, and then one morning, we found him. He had fallen into the well, or so they said, his body waterlogged and pale, stared up at me through the dark. My only son gone, and though my mind screamed it was an accident, my heart whispered something else, that his fear had been real. After Ezra's death, the town began to rot. People fell ill, livestock withered, and whispers spread like infection. They said the well was cursed, that the forest had turned against us. And in every whisper, every fearful glance, one name surfaced. Edith Sinclair had been the last to speak with me before Ezra vanished. They even said the words that now echo in my skull. Enjoy these times while they last. One day you shall miss them. Was that warning or prophecy? I went to her cottage to confront her, but what I found instead shattered me. Through that same warped window Ezra once peered through, I saw her with Nehemiah Burroughs, our blacksmith and supposed man of God, their bodies entwined in sin, hidden from the eyes of the town. The same Nehemiah who scolded my boy for telling tales. I ran. I didn't think. I ran straight into the town square and shouted the truth for all to hear. The people gathered, faces pale with shock. Nehemiah confessed, yes, he had lain with her. But then he twisted the blade. She bewitched me, he cried. She seduced me with her devil's charms. She killed the boy, and just like that, the crowd turned. Fear has a taste, bitter, metallic. And that night, I tasted it in the air. The same fear that kills reason and births monsters. They dragged her to the church that night. No proof, no witnesses, only grief, guilt, and fear. I stood among them, trembling, watching the woman who once offered me kindness stand accused of witchcraft. She denied it, of course. Calm died composed, her eyes steady. But when I accused her, when I said, you spoke of my son's death before it happened, her calm broke. The crowd erupted. It was over. By the time the preacher's gavel struck the table, her fate was sealed. Death by fire. They chained her to the stake in the square beneath the watchful moon. Nehemiah himself lit the torch. Even as the flames rose around her, she didn't scream. Her voice rang out clear, powerful, words I couldn't understand, ancient and burning with fury. You think to cleanse your sins in my fire, she said, but it is you who shall burn. And then the fire changed. It roared higher, brighter, alive. The air shimmered, and her body became flame, twisting, growing, becoming something more. Her hair streamed like fire, her eyes twin embers, her voice thunder. Samine, hear me, she cried, let the spirits rise and judge these false hearts. The wind howled, sparks leapt from the pyre, scattering into the night. The fire spread to roofs, to homes, to barns. People screamed, ran, prayed, but no prayer could smother that fire. Our town burned, every home, every soul. The flames devoured us just as she had promised. By dawn, nothing remained. Only ash, only silence, and me. I alone survived to tell it, cursed. Perhaps to remember ... for when the wind howls through the trees. I still hear her voice in the flames. The reckoning has only begun. Beat of silence, whispered echo of crackling fire. Some say it was witchcraft. Others say it was justice. I say it was neither. It was the truth finally burning its way free. If you felt the chill of her fire tonight, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more horror stories. And remember, some sins don't stay buried.